Fellas, I got something else that I want to talk about. Hey, welcome back to another episode of me rambling two back to back. Hopefully I'm going to be uploading this the same day that I'm recording it, which should be on the 9th. Okay, yeah, sure, I can read. Hey, guys, welcome back. I just wanted to say, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the Rambles video that I did yesterday. It turned out really well, and I am actually feeling really good about just having Ramble videos out there, kind of putting them out there, putting out my thoughts whenever I want to. But I wanted to take the opportunity in this video to expand upon something that I was testing literally as early as like an hour ago, because I think it'd be interesting. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the process of maybe trying to do some casual gameplay videos for 3DS games. Now, here's the thing. The thing about 3DS games and maybe doing videos on them is that it, generally speaking, how do I word this? I have an actual 2DS XL. I have a new Nintendo 2DS XL, and I would love to be able to, hook up stuff with that. I have it modded and everything. You know, you're in the age where, you know, the 3DS is more retro. Everyone's modding it now. Everyone's doing their thing. You know how it goes. Don't deny it. It's like if most of you people who have a 3DS now, unless if you've had the same one since you were a kid and you're always more on the casual side of gaming, you've probably modded yours, but maybe you haven't. I don't really know your life story. That being said, I've wanted to devise a plan to be able to do videos on 3DS games because I have a lot of 3DS games that I really, really enjoy. Recently I was just testing today. I was testing playing Donkey Kong Country Returns, the 3DS port of it. And boy, howdy, is it nice to see that game flourishing and everything, and it was good to play it. That being said, I wanted to be able to be like, okay, cool. I want to be able to show this to Riley because I was in call with her an hour ago. Still am. I'm just deafened, but I wanted to be able to share my screen for her and show her my 3DS thing. Now, here's the thing. How I would typically do this with any situation, with any game that I'm doing, is that I would hook, my Switch up to my capture card, whatever, and, I got like an Elgato and everything that I use for my Switch, boot up the Game Capture HD software that Elgato has, and boom, you're showing your Switch gameplay. Cool. Now, the problem with the DS line of systems, more notably, I guess, the 3DS, is that we don't really have ways of using proper capture software with it. What I mean by that is essentially there is no using an Elgato capture card for your 3DS. And for the most part, there is no just straight up standardized capture card that you can use for your 3DS. And quite honestly, that sucks. And so as someone with a modded system, I've been devising a plan, looking through maybe some subreddits, looking through some forums, trying to see if anyone has any way to basically say, hey, here's how you can share your stuff. And it's come down to two different things that I'm seeing. Number one, if you want to share your 3DS footage, you can straight up get your system hard modded. Well, I don't know if it's hard modded or soft modded. I think it's hard modded, but essentially you can get your hardware modded so that it actually has a port for basically this capture card output. And then once you get it done, the people who do it, who you send over your whole system to, and they bring it back, they give you this software to go to and be like, okay, download the software, and if you have it plugged into your 3DS, boom, you're showing it. You can show everything on your 3DS. It's pretty cool. The only problem with this, however, is that costs a lot of money. They are also starting to go a lot more extinct because they're just not that common. 3DS capture card modding is just not a common thing that is talked about. It is not a common thing that is discussed at all because it's just so rare, it's more expensive, and the people who do these services, I just gotta say, they're doing a great job. It's just that they're once in a blue moon that you're probably going to be able to get a chance to properly mod that stuff. So it's definitely not the route that I'm thinking about going anytime soon, especially since, you have to actually send your system over to them, which might be, literally across the country, if you will. So that being said, What is the other option that I mentioned? It's through using this program called SnickerStream, which is available on the on the line of like 3DS custom firmware stuff. Its whole thing is that you can set up some NTR stuff, whatever. It's a little bit of mumbo jumbo that I'm not even 100% familiar with as someone who's set it up, but essentially it allows you to boot your system into an NTR mode. And then you set up a thing with the program, put in your system's like IP thing, and bada bing, bada boom, you're wirelessly sharing your 3DS system. You're showing your top screen, your bottom screen. Maybe if you even want to, you can just show your top screen, whatever. But there's some iffiness that I've noticed with this. Number one, because it is a virtual thing, it is a wireless thing, you are going to probably be having some frame rate issues. Thankfully, this program allows you to separate what you share with your top screen, your bottom screen. You can give it top screen and bottom screen priority. So if you want to have one screen way more focused on running more than the other, then you can completely do that. I always kind of have mine set to top screen because top screen is typically where, you know, all the action for the most part is happening on your 3DS. And I just kind of prefer to sort of have my stuff set up so that, you know, top screen has that priority and you can share it more. But, of course, depending on what you're playing, I think Tomodachi Life is a pretty good example. If you want something like Tomodachi Life, which typically I think has more of the stuff happening on the bottom screen, you can do that. But I also figured Tomodachi Life, you know, if it's a little framey on Tomodachi Life of all things, I don't really care too much. Tomodachi Life doesn't have anything crazy going on, but say for instance, if I'm wanting to do something like Super Mario 3D Land or something, I'm gonna want something like the top screen, which I believe is what Super Mario 3D Land uses more often. I'm gonna want that to have the top screen as more of the focus, so Mario's not running in like a PowerPoint presentation type fashion. So that being said, what are the options? Am I considering doing that for my casual gameplay videos? Am I considering going that route? Maybe, but there's one huge problem with it, and that problem is that, unfortunately, when you share through like SnickerStream, you literally don't have audio. You don't have audio output unless you get like an aux cord of some sort and you hook it up, and I'd have to set it up through OBS. It's like a whole thing, and it's kind of annoying. However, I genuinely thought of the idea of just allowing you guys to just hear my 3DS speaker right up to the mic, treat it like it's old school 2012, 2013 if you're like a middle of the road content creator who does Nintendo content at that point. You know, maybe you've invested enough in a capture card, but you haven't invested enough in allowing audio to be heard. So, you know, take that as you will. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. But of course, you could imagine the third route that I've genuinely considered going is emulation. But of course, I think if you've kept up with any emulation stuff recently, you know that you'll know that Citra, the emulator that pretty much everyone who does 3DS emulation uses, is no longer working. Well, okay, it's not that it's no longer working, but it's that if you try and go look up the official website for Citra right now, due to the huge lawsuit that was happening between the Yuzu devs, which is a Switch emulator, and Nintendo, Yuzu kind of backed out. And the unfortunate part is that Yuzu also are the owners of 3DS, so they kind of just took Citra and they jumped ship. So if you try and look up the Citra emulator right now, the official website, I believe the website itself still exists, but it's just a notice saying it's not available. We can't do it anymore. We can't go through that, which is fair. I'm not going to be getting into a lot about that specific event, but it kind of explains why you can't easily find Citra right now. Now, that being said, some people have uploaded forks of Citra through, like, you know, Internet Archive stuff. So I think you still can find Citra. It's just that it's not as easy. And I also recall from my experience trying to do Citra, it just didn't run well. I never got Citra to run well at all. That was the thing. So I'm kind of just in this crossroad of, would you rather just have the jank speakers, coming, you know, the 3DS audio capture coming through your mic directly, like how I'm speaking, and you have a decent way of capturing your screen wirelessly? Or would you just rather, like, you know, bite the bullet, try and do Citra, see what you can do? But of course, if all else fails, I think the best of all route is just to genuinely just get a capture card installed into your 3DS. And even then, that costs a lot of money. So I'm still trying to decide how I want to pick my poison, pick what I want to do with it. Maybe I'll end up going the Citra route. Maybe I'll end up going the Snicker Stream route. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's pretty much all I have to kind of discuss. I'm pretty much moral of the story. We're going to moral the story this again like we did yesterday. The general moral of the story is that I'm trying to find ways to potentially maybe open up the concepts of doing casual gameplay videos of 3DS games, whether it is through my actual 3DS hardware or if I'm going to be doing it through emulation because, you know, 3DS capture is really hard if you have an actual console. If you have an actual handheld console for the 3DS, it is really hard to actually get your stuff shown on screen because even if you have it going on Snicker Stream and the, you know, FPS is kind of it's kind of okay, but it's not great, then you still have to deal with the issue of if you want the audio to be heard properly, you've got to get an aux cord, that whole thing. And maybe it wouldn't be that difficult. Oh no, is the burp demon from yesterday coming back? Oh no. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but this is my video. This is my rambling video to tell you guys that it's something I'm considering. I would love to do something like, you know, Super Mario 3D Land, or maybe Tomodachi Life. Tomodachi Life would actually be sick. I think I would especially be open to starting a brand new Tomodachi Life Island if I end up going the Citra route. But if I'm going to be doing Tomodachi Life, man, I'll just be so real. I'd much rather do that on real hardware because getting me set up on Citra is like, it's a process. It is a process and a half, and I'm hoping that I can get around to getting something to work, but I don't know. We'll cross that, get there when we bridge. That's going to be my new ongoing bit, but I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to make sure that you guys get this video up and at them soon, and we'll just see what happens. So I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye. It's time to go. Goodbye.